Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie and I'm an English professor, and I recently discovered BookTok and Bookstagram and BookTube, and I have become obsessed with everyone's book recommendations. I decided I was going to join in the fun and start reading some of the more popular BookTok and BookTube books that everyone is recommending. I do teach literature, so I have read a lot of the classics. I do also enjoy contemporary fiction, but I am not a book snob. I do not judge what anyone reads, and I will literally try anything. I will read a romance novel, a sci-fi novel, it doesn't matter. I will give it a shot. I don't care what you read, I care that you read. So I recently went to Barnes & Noble and stocked up on a lot of the popular BookTok recommendations that everyone is talking about. So here's what I got. First, I had not heard of this author before last week. I had no idea who she was, and the internet seems to be obsessed with her. A lot of people have strong feelings about this author, one way or the other. People seem to love her or hate her. Again, I do not hate on anyone. I do not judge what you read. I may not love it, but I won't hate on you for loving it. So I have decided to try out some Colleen Hoover. The first book that I got was It Ends With Us. That's the one that everyone seems to be talking about. Initially, I kind of thought that Colleen was a romance novelist, but then I learned a little bit more about this book, and I watched a few more in-depth reviews and read the jacket. And what I learned is that this is actually a rather sad story about the cycle of abuse and the way in which that presents itself in relationships. So I'm glad that I am going into this with a little more understanding about what the book is about, because I know so many people who started reading this thinking that it was a love story, and then I think that that's the reason why a lot of people didn't like it, because the material is so kind of deep and heavy. So I'm interested to see how it's handled, and I'm interested to read this. I don't know that I'm going to start with it. In fact, I know that I'm not, because there's another one that I'm going to start with. But the next one that I got was November 9th. This is another one that a lot of people seem to enjoy. I got it because my birthday is in November, and November's coming up, so I thought, well, I can read this in November. I don't know much about this one either. I know that it's a story about two people who meet on November 9th, and they, I think, have some kind of attraction, but one of them is moving far away, and so they make this agreement to come back every year and see each other again on November 9th. And that's really all that I know about this one. I will be reading this in November. And then the last one that I picked up, which is going to be the one that I start with, is Verity. This is the one that people seem to be really obsessed with. I think this one has a more suspense thriller twist. From what I understand, it's about a woman who comes to serve as a ghostwriter for an author who is sick, and she's essentially living in the house with the author, spending a lot of time in the house with the author and with the author's husband. And I think that this becomes like an attraction between the ghostwriter and Verity's husband. But as she spends more time there, she uncovers more about some secrets about Verity and her past. And I really don't know a whole lot other than there's supposedly a twist, and people say that this kind of absolutely blows their mind because it is kind of a creepy suspense novel. I think I'm going to read this one in my October reads, which were going to be kind of spooky themed anyway. So I picked up Verity, and I'm looking forward to reading that one. Along the same lines for October reads, I picked up some dark academia books because I work in academia. I'm an academic, so I thought that those would be kind of fun. So I got Donna Tartt's The Secret History. All I know about this one is that it's a dark academia book about a professor and a group of students who kind of take his classes or follow him or kind of idealize him in some way, and that there are some kind of dark or disturbing aspects to this group of academics. And I don't really know anything other than that, but I'm looking forward to reading it. I still haven't read The Goldfinch, also by Donna Tartt. That is on my TBR. At some point in the future, I am going to get to that one. And then I picked up another dark academia book called If We Were Villains. This one came pretty highly recommended from several people. And I know this one has a Shakespeare theme. I used to teach Shakespeare quite a bit. I love Shakespeare, so I'm kind of excited to read this. And I think this is about a group, like an acting troupe of college students who are involved in some kind of murder. There's some, I think, parallel between the characters that they play on stage and their personalities in real life. So I'm looking forward to kind of some of the themes in this one. And like I said, it came highly recommended, and I love a dark academia with a Shakespeare plot. So that's a win for me. And in the same vein, I've picked up Song of Achilles. This one is, I believe, a retelling of the Iliad and Odyssey from Achilles' perspective. I used to teach the Odyssey as well quite a bit, and I really love the Odyssey, so I'm looking forward to this one. It's probably not going to be on my October reads list, but I will get to it probably soon. And this next one I know nothing about other than everyone on the internet seems to be talking about it. And so I picked it up. It is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I read the back of it, and it's about a Hollywood actress, I think, who is recounting the story of her life to a journalist and about the 7 husbands that she had. I know almost nothing about this other than everyone is recommending it, so I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, and then I got Love and Other Words, which is another really popular one on TikTok. This one, I believe, is about a woman who is engaged and a past lover shows up, and it flips back and forth in time between the past with her previous lover and the present. And I think there was some kind of reason that they decided not to be together, and him showing back up in her life is rekindling some feelings and complicating her life with her fiance. So I'm excited to read that one. I think it'll be a fun read. And then the last 2 that I got are 2 books by Ali Hazelwood. The first is The Love Hypothesis. This is one that everyone seems to recommend, and because it was right next to it in Barnes & Noble, I got Love on the Brain. Both of these seem to be about academics, so again, that's appealing to me. I think they are both romance. I think they are enemies to lovers, from what I understand about both of these, so I look forward to reading both of those. They sound like kind of fun reads, palate cleansers perhaps after some of the darker ones that I'm picking up for October. But I am really excited to dig into some of these recommendations. I'm going to put together another video of all of the books that I will be reading in October and share that with you. But in the meantime, please leave in your comments any book recommendations that you have, because like I said, I will read anything, and I have just discovered this side of the internet and I could not be happier about it because I love to know what other people are reading. So BookTok, Bookstagram, BookTube, these are all my people, and I can't wait to hear what you guys are reading.